Now, Brandon, we have to talk about January 6, 2021, which is the day of the so-called insurrection of the Capitol building in D.C. by supposedly armed and rabid Trump supporters. Just in brief, viewers at home will know the media narrative that violent Trump supporters forced their way into the Capitol building and killed 5 people. We know now that the only person who died was an unarmed Trump supporter named Ashley Babbitt, who was killed by a Capitol policeman. No protests in her name by leftists, but whatever. And we also know, thanks to more footage being released, that while, yes, of course, there were some unsavory elements there, as there always are at these kinds of things, it was not the violent riot it was painted as. You were at the Capitol building on the day. Tell us, what did you see?
So I was actually a scheduled speaker at a permitted event on Capitol grounds. So what was supposed to be happening that day was that President Trump was speaking at the Ellipse. There would be a march from the Ellipse to the Capitol, and then a second event with dozens of speakers on Capitol grounds. So I was on my way to the Capitol to speak. And as I was getting close to the Capitol grounds, I started getting text messages and things from friends, family, coworkers who were at home watching on television saying, "We're hearing on the news that people are going inside the building and like something is going on." And that sounded a little strange to me, but I thought to myself, well, I'm here, I'm on the scene and I have a very large following on social media. So I'm going to shoot a video and document what I see. So I started shooting a video and walking up to the Capitol from the east side on the east side grounds. Now, I arrived at around 2:35, 2:40 p.m. And the reason why that's relevant is because that was probably at least an hour after all of the barricades had been removed. So when I got to the east side of the Capitol, which is the opposite side, by the way, the opposite side of the building as where people were breaking windows and struggling with police officers earlier on the west side of the building. When I arrived on the east side of the building, everything was very calm. There were thousands of people strewn about the Capitol lawn and the grounds. Nobody was agitated. Nobody was angry. People were standing around talking, smoking cigarettes. In my video, you'll see women pushing baby strollers, riding bicycles. And I continued to walk down the sidewalk, which was fully open, not barricaded, into the crowd of thousands of people standing right outside of the Capitol. Now, the people in my video standing outside the Capitol were not facing toward the building. They weren't trying to charge their way in. They were facing away from the Capitol, holding signs, singing songs, standing there, basically demonstrating. And at the top of the stairs in my video, you see a man shouting down to the people below, "They opened the doors. They're letting us in. We're going inside. We're going inside." So I walked up to the top of the stairs. And when I got there, the 2 large Columbus doors of the Capitol were both wide open. There was a crowd of several hundred people at the top of the stairs. Some of them were trying to push their way inside. The majority of them, like me, were shooting a video. And I stood there for 8 minutes shooting a video. And then a man came outside of the building, got on a bullhorn and said, "They've cleared Congress. Everyone's left the building. Turn around, move out, move out." And at that point, I immediately turned around and I left. And I even told the people behind me, they're saying to move out. You should go this way. I walked down the stairs and out into the outer grounds. And I stayed and I shot about 13 more videos doing kind of street interviews and talking to people in the crowd about what they saw, what their experience was, blah, blah, blah. So I never entered the Capitol on January 6th. I did not engage in any violence, vandalism, theft, or destruction. I did not witness any violence, vandalism, theft, or destruction. And I took my 8-minute video and I uploaded it to Twitter. And 2.5 weeks later, I was raided at my home by the FBI. They came into my apartment at dawn, got me out of bed, put me in handcuffs, and took me to jail. While a team of agents came into my apartment and began stripping my apartment of my computers, my iPads, my hard drives, my phones, my thumb drives, my camera equipment, my clothing, taking my things, putting them in bags, while I was paraded through my apartment building in handcuffs and taken to jail. I sat in jail for a couple of days in 23-hour lockdown. And then I was finally released from jail after 2.5 days. And that's when I learned that I was facing multiple felony charges for the 8 minutes that I stood outside of the Capitol.